Hey everyone. So in this episode I want to share with you about something I discovered this morning actually. I had a conflict yesterday and the day before with my partner. One of the things I saw this morning is about saying needs while actually holding them in our minds as strategies. And so I guess everyone who follows me for a while knows that conflicts take place on the level of strategies. So if you don't know what I mean by that, I will put a video somewhere to explain. And so when you go to the level of needs, you can solve a conflict. And so there's one thing that's more tricky than being on the level of strategies, because then at least you're aware maybe, that I'm on the level of strategies. And that's to be on the level of strategies while you think you are on the level of needs. And this happened actually to both of us. And so I first saw it with my partner, because that's more easy, right, to see with someone else. When he, one really core need of him is clarity. And so the morning after we had the conflict, I wanted to have some self-connection before we would talk again. And he spent time not knowing what was going on in me, and he expressed the need for clarity for that. And I realized this morning that often or at least sometimes when he uses that word, I think, and I want to check it with him, but when he gets back home, I didn't have a chance yet to see him. That need is directly linked to getting clarity from me. And so I guess, again, if you follow me for a while, you know that needs are not linked to a person. As soon as you link them to a person, they're no longer an abstract need. And the problem with that is that there's less options basically to meet your needs, because you already have it attached to a person. So you're more likely to get stuck with this person actually. And so actually I want to check this with him because I have a suspicion that it's that clarity in his mind is linked to the strategy of hearing from me what is going on in me. And that means that easily creates desperation, because if that's not happening, then how does he get his need met? So yeah, let's stop. I feel a little bad actually talking about him while not having talked to him myself yet. So let's move to me. What I discovered is that I have a need for belonging, also kind of a core. I don't know if I don't think I talked about core needs yet, but when I will also link the video. So core needs. So my core need is belonging, one of my core needs. And I realized this morning that this is also linked to a strategy, and it's not necessarily him, but I have the word belonging in my head, and I think it's not so uncommon. I have it linked very much to belonging to a group or to a couple, like let's say to belong in a couple where I'm in a relationship. Whereas there's, I guess, that makes it less of a need, right? So it's already linked to a specific strategy of belonging to this specific group or a group. And so I guess also for me, whenever I'm stuck, sometimes it's very okay if it's linked to a strategy, and I know I want to belong to a group specifically, and I'm a bit like, there's a bit of a continuum, right? Like there's a need and here's a strategy, and you can be also somewhere in between. And the more you're stuck, I would say, the more I would want to move to the very pure need, let's say. This is actually interesting. I'm realizing this now, that maybe it's important to make that more clear. It's not always necessary to be like super strict on the pure need, let's say. But if you get stuck, I think that's a good indicator that maybe you are more like on the strategy side, and it's helpful to move to the need side. And so if I get stuck in belonging, like, oh, I have this need right now to belong, And then to think that belonging is always in a group, that could make me, and in this case I can feel that it makes me a bit like, dependent on something I cannot really control that fast. So I realized that belonging can also be with myself, right? I can belong to myself. I don't know yet how. Maybe I'll get back to you about that later, but I could have a sense of belonging with myself. I'm sure I can. I don't know how yet. And then I could also, instead of making it a bit, smaller, let's say close to myself, I could also make it larger and say that I belong to humankind, or to Earth, or the universe. And I can already feel like a little bit of tingling of inspiration, especially from that one, the one of belonging to the universe and to the Earth and humankind. That somehow I could do things that would really help that. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to share. I could go into what could be the strategies and everything, but I think the most important point is that what I want to bring across is for you is to, whenever you're stuck, check if you're more on the strategy side, and if you can move more to the need side by removing basically all the concrete things. So the specific person, the specific place, the specific group, and to see if you can get to, the core need, and see if that can be met with yourself or with another person, rather than the person you're triggered with, or another group, or like I'm saying, like make it even like the universe, or nature, or something like that. And it helps to feel more like I'm trying to sense what I feel now, which is, I guess, mostly inspired, and also kind of reassured, like this is in my own hands. Gives some independence in that sense. So so this was my first video of Marianne in a moment, or whatever we're gonna call it. I want to do a little check with you guys. So I'm very curious to hear what you thought of this format. Like, do you like it? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you have any suggestions about it, maybe, of how to do this, or anything extra that could inspire me? Also, if you would like to say anything about this topic that I discussed, if you can relate to it, or if it was helpful for you, I'm very curious. And as always, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification button if you want to be notified whenever there's a new video. And also, if you are yourself gonna have a tough conversation, or maybe you're already in a conflict, I have my Tough Talk preparation sheet on my website. It's free. You can just download it. So I'll put a link underneath if you would be interested in that. So yeah, I'm actually now gonna go to my office. I was kind of on my way there, and I wish you a very connecting day. Ciao, ciao.